And welcome back. And now we're here with Jeremy Hogan. He is the CEO of Saving Forgotten Warriors. Jeremy, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, and then we'll kind of get into why you're here.
I'm a retired Marine, 2010, and have been living in the Cullman area for about 3 years. My efforts started about 2 months ago when I started making American flags and giving them out to veterans. And then I got the cry for help for one special veteran, if you will, Corporal Beasley.
Yes, and that's one of the things that you guys were saying, that you're in the middle of an effort for Corporal Kenneth Beasley.
Yes.
So tell us about that a little bit, about what that's all about.
A week ago this last Thursday, I went into a convenience store in my neighborhood, and the ladies there knew that I did this effort with the American flags and knew that I like to help veterans. Let me know that there was a veteran in need. He had a ramp that needed to be repaired. So I drove over there, didn't think anything about what I was getting myself into, really. I just knew that I would be able to fix the ramp myself. When I pulled up, it was just a complete and utter different situation than needing just a ramp. There was no ramp on the front end. And I knocked on the door, went inside in it, and just the distress for the Marine itself was pretty intense. I got him to the hospital. He had gangrene set up in his right foot and had already lost his left leg up to his knee back in 10 months ago. So he's a diabetic and was off of his medication and wasn't cooperating with the family or with the cops or anything like that. He was just not willing to get himself help. I talked to him, encouraged him in the Marine Corps way that he needed to go to the doctor. I called the VA, let my patient advocate know that he was on the way. Got him down there, and we were actually able to save his foot. They were able to get him on get him back on his medication. They transferred him to Princeton 11 days ago for mental evaluation. He's been doing really well, and hopefully he's coming home within the next week or so. But our efforts at the house are still in the middle of what we're doing. We spent 2 weekends so far cleaning the place, getting it completely cleaned up and getting all the trash and everything thrown away, cutting some trees down and doing a little bit more brush clearing and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier for his driveway. We've been behind the scenes, we're working on talking to different local companies in Cullman about helping us with the effort of building. He needs a front porch and a back porch with ramp accessibility for both. All the windows have to be replaced. They've all been busted. He was using his stove as a heater. So he has no heat. He has no air conditioner. It was a pretty distressful situation. It was something that I felt needed immediate attention. And I reached out to the community on my Facebook, and next thing I know, it started going viral, if you will. And from there, other places reached out to talk to me about what was going on, and we did. And we've gained more knowledge from the community. We've reached out to the sheriff in town and talked to him about what we can do to help out with other veterans. And it has turned into my new foundation.
Saving Forgotten Warriors.
Saving Forgotten Warriors. We are actually in the middle of drawing the paperwork up right now. It should be gone. We should have the paperwork next week. Corporal Beasley's situation is still in the middle, and we are looking for companies to step forward in the community to help us out with what we need material-wise. And we're looking for the community for volunteers to help get the things done that we've got to do, and we've got to reach out to get some lifestyle changes for him, some therapy. He was stuck inside. So,
well, the name of your organization, foundation, if you would, certainly says it all, and I can understand why you feel that way, Saving Forgotten Warriors, because a lot of these people seem to be forgotten, and you even hear that on the national news and stuff
Yes,
like
sir.
that, how veterans are homeless and this sort of thing, and which is absolutely absurd that there's any
Baffles.
veteran that has ever served in the U.S. here. But anyway, appreciate your service, by the way. I was going to say that earlier, but and your service in the Marine Corps, which we were joking earlier that's probably one of the easier branches of.
Yeah, definitely one of the easier branches for
Definitely
sure.
not. Yeah, when I was in the Army National Guard and I went through Army basic training, but it never interested me at all to go in the Marines. No, I knew enough about that. Like, no, I don't want to try to prove myself to do that in any way. But again, how can someone help? Where do they need to go? You said you guys have
Right
a Facebook
now,
page.
As of today, we're transitioning the Facebook page from Saving Corporal Beasley to our new name of Saving Forgotten Warriors. It changes today. They can go on our Facebook page there, and all of our phone numbers for my administrator and my VP and myself are on there, or they can private message us. They can reach us through that right now. I have a website being built at this time. It'll be up within the next week. And right now we're just taking phone calls. Tammy Glover is my assistant. She's the one that you can call directly and actually set up drop-offs or donations.
And her number is 256-286-3136.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I mean, there is so much need in the world, and I know from us having a little conversation before we got started here, the reason you're doing this is not, for yourself. It's because
No, sir.
the Lord has kind of led you to do that, and that's that's what I was telling you. The Lord depends upon His people, us, to be His hands and feet.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we can pray all day long. Yeah, pray that you'll do this in Jesus' name, but
Yes, sir.
when He wants us to go out there and actually, grab a hammer and go out there and nail up a board.
It is. It's funny because I prayed for about a year about the Lord using me. I asked Him if He would just use me in the best way He knew how to reach out to the people and let them know just that the Lord is powerful. He's strength in numbers, and He's love. I mean, and when you get out there and this effort right there alone shows how much love and how much power He actually has, because there's no way a measly old guy like myself could have built an effort so massive already with just the community coming out to help clean up. And so far both weekends have been pretty jam-packed. We've had over 20 people each weekend helping us, so it's been awesome.
And just like coming, I guess in your case, in a sense, coming to a strange land like Abraham had to do, because you're originally, like you said, from the Birmingham area. So coming up here, not knowing anyone, it's like,
yeah,
am I supposed to be here, Lord?
Right. We've been here for 3 years, and before Wednesday, before that Thursday, we were just a couple with a couple children sitting out on the middle of the nowhere, enjoying life on God's land. And next thing I know, I'm trying to help this Marine and get him back to where he can enjoy life, because I do enjoy life, and I've had my struggles. Knowing that I've had my struggles, I know where all these guys are, and I know how hard it is to get through the red tape with the VA, and I know how it is to get really any help from most other organizations out there. It's nice to see that the community wants an avenue or a channel to get help to these guys.
Well, and I've said it, I don't know how many times before, and our government, does some good things,
They do.
but it has gotten too big, and it's because it has had to step in where we as Christians in the church have failed.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, in my opinion, why the government has gotten so big in trying to help people, is because we're not doing our part as Christians.
I do think that might be, I think it got to the point where people were not necessarily trusting in certain organizations or certain things to make sure it was getting done, and it just wasn't getting done, and the government's tried to step in, but this is a massive effort that's going to take way more than any government. The American people are going to have to come together and really show their support to the veterans that are actually over there in these foxholes getting shot at every day overseas to protect what we love so much.
Well, I know, not to get all preachy and everything, but in Acts it talks about the early church, and it said that the believers there, they sold all their possessions and gave to those that were in need. I mean, today's church, we would, like, what?
Right. No, no.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to do that. But there is so much need out there, folks, and there are veterans here, right here in Cullman County that need our help, need your help. And I appreciate Jeremy Hogan with Saving Forgotten Warriors coming in and taking the initiative to take on this project. And I know, this is kind of just getting started for you.
Yes, sir.
And I know you're excited about where the Lord's going to lead and how this is going to blossom, but more importantly, how many people that you're going to be able to help.
I really look
going down
forward
the
to
road.
this. This is something I believe that the Lord has blessed me in ability to reach as many veterans as possible in our community, and then I'm just His vessel. I'll go wherever He wants me to. I believe we can make it happen with His support, His will, and everybody in the community coming together and showing how much they do love America.
Once again, Jeremy, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, and thank you again for what you're doing right now.
Yes, sir.
You are making a difference, so remember that. And we'll be right back with more of Cullman Today.